Yeah. I live my life on the road, live my life like I'm whole. If you come in, it's telling you about to come out the clothes. I got a shake and a jelly, my nigga, I'm on the roll. I put my dick in her belly, she warm me up like a stove. No oven, I'm hot as fuck and he wasn't. She used to be a boo thing, now she fucking me and my cousin. You came in with 2 bitches and I came in here with a dozen. Who about to do what they wasn't and they might just do it in public.
Welcome to Trappin Ain't Dead, another day, another dollar peep game. It's your boy Munch. I'm here with my co-host, Jodane Tate.
Hey,
What's
Munch.
good? Hey.
I haven't called you Munchy for in a long time.
Oh, shit.
I'm not gonna bring it back. Hey, Munch, James Munch in the third,
My
or
bad.
4th or 5th.
You mad? I'm just gonna edit out the tape part.
No, don't edit me out. Okay.
I ain't gonna do you like that.
How you feeling tonight?
I'm alive. I'm running on fume, 3 hours, the grind, the entrepreneur life, and I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling productive.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel productive, you energize. But when you like don't feel like you're being productive, that's like you're grabbing. So I'm like
That's true. You know, we all know about that entrepreneur life these days.
You know?
But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Right. Me neither.
I think, today's episode is really cool, especially since we talk about entrepreneurship. Our guest tonight, he's doing some really cool things when it comes to marketing and small businesses. And you guys have an interesting story on how you met, so we're going to get into all of that. But people, you definitely want to tune in if you want to learn more about those topics. And we have JD Craigman here in the building with us. A dear friend to me and Munch both, and we're so happy to have you on the show. So thank you so much for joining us.
Greatly appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward. I'm hearing the applause in the background. So, I'm looking forward to doing this interview today.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been begging y'all to come on this.
Oh please, JD, don't act like you.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that. You had an open door policy.
We had to save you for
Now it's time. 2020 is here.
2020 is here. Clear vision.
Yeah.
We got a clear vision with the podcast.
Yeah, I love
and
the
we
podcast.
just trying to improve on it. So I know I had to call my dog.
Yeah, I love the podcast. I've been a huge fan. I remember the first time I listened to an hour-long podcast was this podcast.
What?
And ever since then, I've gotten into Drink Champs, and I got into the Joe Budden podcast. But the very first podcast I saw was this podcast. And Janae sent me, it was on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I was like, an hour and a half. And I was like, I'm not gonna listen to this. I got shit to do. I was like, But then I started to realize, like, man, I got captivated because you guys were talking about local, school news and a lot of different things that other podcasts won't reach and won't touch. And I said, this is special. It's special for the black community here in South Florida. So I said, you know what? All right, I'm locked in.
Oh, you've definitely been a supporter since day one.
That means a lot,
That's, yeah.
Man, this is like the big homie, you know what I'm saying?
Locked in.
Big bro, like, you know what I'm saying? So, we go way back. I think like about
20 years?
2011, 2012.
Yeah, not 20 years. We
Oh,
ain't got long. We ain't got long.
But, okay, so how did y'all meet? Like, how y'all know each other?
I guess I'll let JD go.
I mean, well, we had a mutual friend, somebody who knew what I was trying to do because actually I came down from Kentucky. And when I came down from Kentucky, I had a friend named Kia.
Mix magazine.
I was a DJ in Kentucky, and after playing college football, I started DJing, and for my love of music, I really started to kind of take over the Kentucky DJ game. But I knew it was time for me to come back home. I had a kid, so I wanted to come back home. And when I came back home, Kia told me, "Hey, reach out to Demar and Nadia. Demar and Nadia." So I reached out to Demar and Nadia, and I was like, "Listen, I'm DJing. I'm trying to get back into the music scene." And then she introduced me to a group called Art Club.
Yeah.
She told me I had to come around. It's a whole collective.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was something different. I don't think to this day we've seen Miami have seen what the Art Club and that whole little new Miami movement was doing.
What was Art Club?
So Art Club was basically, I don't even want to confine us to a music group because we had such broader ambitions than that. We started the whole, it's more than music, it's a lifestyle. But basically, in short, me and my brother Ransom, no Dan Trail. He basically, we was in the studio. I think we met at Macy's, and out of meeting at Macy's when I came back home from college, similar to you leaving coming back home. We was in college. I mean, I came and we was in Macy's, and he was like, "Come by the studio. We got a new studio situation."
Y'all was working at Macy's or something?
No, I happened to be in Pembroke Pines Mall that day with my little brother, and he happened to be in Pembroke Pines Mall with his little brother, which is Motive. So I ended up, I always tell the story that I was, basically when I came back home, I was going to work with two people, Bird and Ransom. And basically it just happened that I ran into Ransom first.
Oh, so you knew him prior?
Yeah, I knew
Okay.
Ransom prior.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because we all went to middle school together.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and then basically when he was at Turner Tech, I was at Central. So that was just right there. And then, so from there, from that day, we did Presidential Circle with my boy Corey. And from there, you know, we just started doing music. You know what I'm saying? We created this, we had an idea. I was like more business. I came from Arizona seeing the promotions and the business side of the music game. And I wanted to do, and I was also an audio engineer at the time. So that was my thing. And yeah, we ran into, man, that shit was just crazy. We was like a mix of like Wu-Tang and Rockefeller.
For sure.
To kind of like put it together, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And
that was something
mindset.
Miami never seen before. At least and I think that's what drew me to the art club and the whole collective itself, is that they had a pod of producers.
Yeah.
Munch was the engineer, and they had a ton of artists.
Yeah.
And I just really saw, like, you know, maybe I can get in here and help with some video. Maybe I can get in and kind of help with some of the business stuff that I was doing at the time. And I started the clothing line, 19 dot dot. And I knew that if I was able to grow with artists that was growing in the area, it would definitely help my brand as I try and help them. I was going to really make Ransom and his brother and the whole crew the face of my clothing line.
Yeah.
So that's how we all got together.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, that shit, man. We you know, we was talking offline earlier, man. We was so
Yeah,
addicted
y'all
to it.
was, that
Because-
was like a walk down memory lane.
Because the thing is like it's crazy how when you build something and when you build it in a moment, you know, not saying we didn't expect it to be or we didn't think it was going to be what it was, but the impact that it had further down the line. Because when you name artists like the Denzel Currys, the Puyas, you know, Champ Fway, a lot of people that really, you know, was the new Miami in a sense. That all, you know, the camp with Prez Pete, Dark Side Baby that's out right now. A lot of the artists you see now is heavy, like Miami Boys Pool Party. A lot of that,
and Nikio, all those guys.
yeah, and Nikio, Young Simi, all that was birthed out of, you know, the art club and that scene that we basically helped cultivate. So yeah, man, it's something that, you know, that's probably one of the most proudest moments I have in my life. You know what I'm saying? As far as like what we was able to do.
Shout out to Bel Air Academy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Bel Air. My man Pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He used to shoot behind his clothing store.
So he used to do a freestyle cypher. And I think that was on Fridays or something like that, on Saturdays. And basically you be out there all day and can't, like Denzel Curry, you know what I'm saying, 14, 15 years old used to pop up. Puya and them used to pop up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he was scared to rap.
And
He was scared to rap.
And they were the young cats.
Yeah.
They were the younger generation under us. So we were like doing what we was doing, but then there was this new breed that was under us. And yeah, man, it's just been a beautiful thing to kind of like just watch and see grow. You know
So
what I'm saying?
that's what y'all call the new Miami.
Yeah.
That was the new Miami for sure. And it was to break away from that traditional, you know, trick and treat type of music. It was more eclectic. It was more instrumentation, a lot of different things that the typical Miami artists weren't doing. And believe it or not, I mean, I just think so many artists from Miami heard that sound and kind of implemented. I mean, Iceberg started making better music to me. At the time, Billy Blue was popping. He kind of everything changed to more of that soulful feel to it. And I think what Art Club brought to the table, I mean, we was talking about the mixtape that Ransom did, Revolver.
Yeah.
I mean, the instrumentation on that mixtape alone.
Ice cream.
It was amazing, and I think it's pushed every artist in South Florida who's grown up around that time to do better music. So definitely Art Club has been an inspiration, definitely growing up. Not growing up, but once I was here to understand what South Florida can be. Yeah, it was amazing for me.
Yeah. It was just so dope, man. It was a fun time. I remember that was even back when I had the studio. That was when I first opened up like my first multimedia content studio, and it was like a concept, and people didn't really get it at the time. They was like, "Why is it open and why is it this?" But I'm like, because that's when I had Canary, shout out my boy, Every Picture Matters on Instagram. He just recently did a mural on 79th and 7th, coming off 95 with he had the part at the bottom with Duffy. But he actually was 16 years old, still at Northwestern, who did the mural in that studio. And basically what I wanted was to create like a creative space for us, because we basically was always in the house. We had moved from one studio, which was Presidential Circle. We moved out of that situation. Then we went into, shout out my boy Ben, we went into Benzo crib. Once we moved, and then Benzo crib became like fucking like it. I guess it was the same thing as like the dungeon for outcasts. You know what I'm saying? It was, and Benzo crib was like that hub for us. And then we moved, and I was like, we need to move out of there so we can create outside of from being in that space. And so we had the studio, which was the first all like mine's multimedia studio, concept studio, content studio. And yeah, man, those were good times, man. Those were definitely good times. It was right up there at Miami Gardens Office Center, right there, like two, 3 doors down from Starboy Studios. Yeah.
Miami Gardens office. Where is that?
Miami 183rd, right across from Tootsie.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
So I used to literally see the mob, line the buses up. You know what I'm saying? At like clockwork, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? The buses come outside. 5 o'clock, you see them all stroll in, get in the charter bus. The Miami Gardens. Matter of fact, 3 o'clock, Miami Gardens is pulling up and collecting money. You know what I mean? 4 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? After they got the escorts, they gonna get escorted by Miami Gardens. The buses used to pull up and they roll the hell out like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that studio was dope.
I think something interesting that you said, JD, is that you connected with this group as an effort to brand your clothing line. So to me, like, branding and marketing has been something that you always like had an eye for. Like, is that something that you study? Is it something that you cultivated over time? Because as long as I've known you, you've been very like tech savvy, really good with gadgets and really good with like digital marketing. So like, how did all that begin for you?
I mean, believe it or not, I don't want to age myself, but I started in marketing. I started in marketing about 19 years ago. Believe it or not, my very first job.
What? You started when you was 2 years old?
Right. My very first job, my very first position, I'll never forget, was in a company called Axe Miami. Back then, they were called Behavioral Science Research. And when I applied, my mom was like, "You're applying for a company called Behavioral Science Research at 16, And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard about it, and it was really cool." And basically, what we did there, we did focus groups. So we were a marketing research company. And that was my first taste in it. And I'm gonna show you how everything flips around. The owner of Behavioral Science Research name is Robert Ladner. Robert Ladner, his son name is Adrian Ladner. So when I went to Robert, he was an older white man at the time. He was probably still is an older white man, but now he's really old, I guess. But back then he was an older white man to me, and I went to him and I said, "How'd you get into marketing?" And he kind of gave me this long spiel, but what he did say was, "I went to the University of Kentucky and I graduated with a degree in sociology."
Isn't that crazy?
10 years later, I went to the University of Kentucky and I graduated with a degree in sociology. So I've always been in the mindset of a marketer. I've always been in the mindset of market research. But my second job, I was the youngest director of marketing for a nightclub on South Beach. So I've always been in marketing. And believe it or not, passing out flyers is marketing. That's guerrilla warfare. It's guerrilla marketing, for example. So I went from the market research to actually being in the room, creating the flyers, understanding the concept of the flyers, where the date should go, who's going to be the headline of the font size. I learned that at 21. And we brought in, I worked with Axe, I worked with Jay-Z before, I worked with Missy Elliott, I worked with Busta Rhymes. When they were coming into the club, and I had to work with their marketing people to say, okay, this is the flyer you want to put out. I remember, back in the days when Monday night was a real big thing here in South Florida. And on South Beach, everyone would go out on a Monday night. Either it was Club Bag, it was Levels at the time where I worked at. So we had
Levels, what is it now? Because the
Levels,
changes.
well, okay, so Levels would be mansions.
Oh, because that's what I
Mansions
remember
and then-
Mansion was popping on Monday night when I was clubbing.
Exactly. So
okay.
before it was Mansion, it was Level. Before it was Level, it was Grand Slam, Prince Club. So I was able to kind of grow up. Yeah, Prince had a club.
You talking about Purple? Man?
Yeah, Prince had Grand Slam.
Purple.
Yeah. Prince had
Wow.
Grand Slam. I mean, obviously year before I was there, but just understanding to work on South Beach, I had to understand the history of clubbing and marketing. So I've been in marketing all my life, and the last thing I would say about marketing is that when I went to Kentucky and playing football, and I realized everything that we did down here in Miami, they did not do it there. So
Yeah.
in all honesty, and let me show you how marketing works. I was the first person in Kentucky to introduce sparklers to nightclubs.
Go ahead.
They've never seen sparklers before, and they've never seen a VIP with a couch before. So our
What
first
part of Kentucky were you in?
yes, they
It
just,
happens that way because
Yeah.
not to cut you off, but I remember when I was in Phoenix, and Phoenix they did like I seen basically the way their music scene was cultivating up there, and what they was trying to do, and I brought that format and that formula back down here.
Yeah.
Because we was on the street shit at that time. We wasn't on like the business side of music. It was just like, yo, these cats over here, they got this group, they pushing this artist. And I was like, no, this is what I seen what they were doing on a business level with the merch and everything else.
right.
And I brought that down here. So that's interesting that you took what you learned from Miami and the clubs and brought it up.
but we can do that now. There's things happening in Miami now
Yeah.
that's not being done in Kentucky or whatever state you want to go to. But my example was Kentucky. Was Lexington, Kentucky. Predominantly white area for sure. And when I got there, I would say after my senior year, and I realized, hey, I wasn't going pro anyway. Let me figure out how to get some money. So our very first party, and I never forget, I learned a lot of this stuff from DJ Khaled, to be quite honest with you.
Wow.
Meaning watching him
It's
work.
the We the Band.
Yes, watching Kid Capri. When Kid Capri used to come to our club levels at the time, I watched him work. I watched how he DJ'd. So we would have parties, and I was the hype man just talking shit on the mic, and I said, you know what, I'm going to DJ. And it was like, all right, cool. So I went, I got Serratos for the first time. It took me about 2 weeks to actually learn it. I knew music all my life. So
Serrato's a DJ
That's
song.
the DJ song.
Oh, okay.
And when I got to the club, I started DJing. My very first night, they boo, get this thing out of here. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was playing openers early in the night. They come in, I want to hear Lil Wayne right now. I'm just like, whoa. Lil Wayne will come around because the clubs are end at 2 o'clock. So I'm playing Wayne and all the heavy hitters around 1:30, 2 o'clock as we do down here in South Florida.
Yeah.
They wanted to hear the hits at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of teach them. So the very first day I got booed. They said, oh, he's terrible because I wasn't paying Lil Wayne. I'm playing Mary J. Blige for a bunch of 20-year-olds. And they're like, what the hell is this? Not really understanding the build up to a party. And then from understanding how I DJ, I really got that from Kid Capri and Cali and so forth, and all the nightclubs down here. One time, I was the actual promoter of this club, and I said, listen, we're going to do sparklers. I called the nightclub down here, and I asked them where they got the sparklers from, because I was still connected down here. He says, JD, I'm going to send you some. So my old boss sent me a box of sparklers. And I said, okay, cool. I went to the club owner, and I said, how many bottles do you have? He was like, bottles for what? And I'm like, bottles to sell. He's like, we don't sell bottles. I was like, that's going to change. I said, could you get me 2 cases of Grey Goose? And he was like, well, I don't really sell Grey Goose. You know, at the time, the Grey Goose was the thing. I said, trust me on it. I said, we're going to get Grey Goose. I want a case of 12. I want 24 bottles of Grey Goose. And he said, well, if we don't sell this Grey Goose, you're going to buy it. Not a problem. I said, how much more wet do you have? He was like, no, we don't sell more wet. We don't sell champagne. What was the white clubs? They're not really thinking like this. I said, listen, so give me 6 bottles of Moet. I said, give me the base price of what these bottles cost, and I'm going to give you double or 3 times the money. He didn't even understand the concept. I went to Rent-A-Center, and I said, now, Kentucky's completely different than down here. Down here, to go to Rent-A-Center and rent a couch, you got to show ID, W-2s. Up there, they knew I played football. All I really had to do was show my ID. Hey, I want to rent a couch for the day. They're like, we don't really do that. I said, I just need it for one night. Not a problem. I spent $30. Got 2 couches. A couple of the homies and moved the couches into this nightclub. We got a rope, a velvet rope, and rope up a small section. I mean, maybe by 10 by 10 section. And we said, this is the VIP. And the nightclub was like, well, what the hell is this? And we have music playing. The club opens, and we hold the door. And the line is starting to build. And what is this? And they've never seen a line being held before. He was like, JD, we had paying customers, and they want to come in, and I'm like, wait, just chill. An hour go by, everyone's super frustrated because no one's inside. And we start letting them in. And then we say, well, listen, we can't come in right now, but we have a VIP. What's VIP? How much is VIP? $120.
Trappin Ain't Dead.
And it was like $120, and no one's ever seen $120 price in the Kentucky club. I'm not paying that. Blah, 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 blah. By the end of the night, we sold every bottle. We sold out because the line. You never seen a line that long before. And that's kind of how I realized, like, you know what? We can take this Trappin Ain't Dead. We can take this mentality that's here every day in Miami, take it to another city, and literally just shock the entire city. So from that point on, I was doing nightclubs over and over and over. And that's kind of how I really got into the whole marketing on my own company. And then from there, I came back down. I worked in an even bigger club down here called MI6, was the very first club at Gulfstream at the time. The very, very first club at Gulfstream, I was the marketing director there.
Oh yeah.
And just started to build from there. Yeah.
Wow, JD, I thought I knew you. Why are you holding back?
Yeah, it's a few things.
I didn't know all this stuff. You working on the campaigns for Jay-Z and all these people. Like, that's dope.
He didn't even tell us that.
I know,
Because no one really
this
asks about the marketing side of how I got started. They'll just say, how did you decide to create 19.dot? Or
I think for me, it was like you came in as DJ 9-6, slip and slide DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we later built a relationship to where, and then me and you know, of course, you was a DJ, I was an audio person, so we connected on that
the same language.
Exactly. And marketing wise, you know, it wasn't until later with 19.dot. Like, you always came and told us the marketing side of it, but it wasn't until the 19.dot that we started to see, because we was young at the time, and when we started to see, we was like, oh, this nigga know what we doing. You know what I mean? So that's why we always kept around, like, you know what I mean?
And 19.dot started off as a Greek clothing line. It was supposed to be 1911, on the Q, and we were trying to do the whole 19.
Oh.
And then I told, at the time I had a business partner, and I said, listen, we're Greek. We're cheap, we don't like spending money, we're young, we don't have it like that. I said, you know what, I don't want to market to the Greeks anymore, I want to market to everyone. So I said 19.dot, and the dot will represent whatever year you pick. And I just kind of pulled in some history themes. That's when we had the Dolphin 72 shirt.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it sold out. And we'll just do different years and pick different themes. We had Flapper Girls from 1920. We had the Manhattan Project, you know, for the 1940s and the atomic bomb and so forth. I mean, you know, it worked. And that's how I met Ransom. I wanted those guys to promote my pitching idea that I have for the 1920s, what you're selling. And it's basically, you know, everyone sees pitching, and it's like everyone is selling. We're constantly selling something. And that's how I got those guys in. And then from there, the brand was able to grow to the point where I was able to sell it. And after I sold the brand, you know, then I really figured out it was a pain point for a lot of businesses down here on the marketing side. So I moved into marketing, and that's when I created Intravate Consultants. And you know, I helped.
What year did you do that?
We started 19.dot about 2009 unofficially, and officially about 2010, and we sold it 2013, 14, or so.
Oh, and then when did you start Intravate?
I started Intravate Consultants 2016.
Hold on, let's talk about you selling, because you was probably one of the first people that was with the concept of, like, I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna build this brand, and then I'm gonna sell it. So can you walk us through that process of getting the business, setting up the business, and then that process of how you sold it?
That's a good question, Munch, because a lot of people don't think about building something to sell it.
That's business.
Yeah.
You should never. I mean, I say you should never. The ultimate goal is to sell your business. Period. At the end of the day, your ultimate goal is to sell your business. And I
all
say
businesses. No, handing it down to your kids for them to run.
But here's the thing, with us, with our club, we was building on, like, and I think that's where we differ, is because we was like, we finna build this shit like Rockefeller is gonna be ours. You know what I'm saying? We know, like, cause we seen the whole selling as, not that Jay-Z sold out, but like Dame and Jay fell out, so somebody had to, you know what I'm saying, take it. It wasn't like nowadays, because we in the, we're older, we're seeing like businesses, we have to pitch our damn selves, we all are entrepreneurs, and it's like, all right, you have to sell a portion of the business at some point. Even me, I'm one of the people, I started all like mine in 2010, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I understand now that, look, you're gonna have to give a little bit of what you have, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like Charlamagne said, and it's about getting people, in my opinion, to buy in rather than sell out.
But you have to understand the value of whatever brand that you have. You have to understand what value I have. So at the time, we were selling. Remember, selling t-shirts is an extremely hard business because you have to sell. You have to get your shirts in Macy's to really sell. But the moment you get your brand in Macy's, your brand is dead. Meaning, once it's that accessible, it's over.
Yeah.
When Sean John went to Macy's, it was done. When Aniche went to Macy's, it was done. No one cared for it as much. When they start selling food platinum in Macy's, it was done.
Now this sounds like a joke to me.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that.
Sorry.
Why
David
is
John,
that?
because it is
Because
dope.
it loses its exclusivity.
Exclusivity, yeah.
Yes, and then at that point, it's like, okay, anybody can get it. Now my dad's rocking it because he goes to Macy's.
It lost its coolness
So-
and swag.
So they should have kept it in the boutique.
Is that for
Always.
only for urban brands?
Well,
Or like that streetwear, whatever, the
It's-
hip hop wear?
streetwear, and the thing is, streetwear got a really bad rep because streetwear and hip hop or urban wear are two
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
Streetwear is for what the skateboarders were wearing. The number one brand for streetwear is Craigman, for an example.
Yeah.
That's never going to die because they release 15, 20 shirts. Well, let's say they release 100 shirts. Special shirts.
Yeah.
You got to get an auction, all types of shit just to get the shirt. Now the
Yeah.
shirt's worth $750.
Yeah.
The moment you mass produce a product, it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
The more supply you have, the less demand it is. I mean, it's
basic
business.
economics.
It's business 101.
Yeah.
But individuals just have to say, you know what, I want the money. So believe it or not, food sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rockefeller sold
Yeah.
because people knew, well, you know what, the younger kid, it's not cool anymore, but that will last for the next 10, 20 years because somebody will buy it because they remember the nostalgic feeling of seeing Rockwear. Rockwear, they still sell Rockwear in China.
Yeah,
They
they
still
still.
sell these brands in other places. The lugs, for example, is still big in other countries. This doesn't mean it's big
I
here.
mean, Carl Kanai just relaunched, didn't he?
Reboot, yeah.
Yeah, reboot with and brought Nas back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like a part owner or something like that.
Yeah, so anytime you go too big, it's open for your brand. So you have to figure out when to sell. To be quite honest, my brand wasn't really worth a lot. What was worth a lot was my intellectual properties. And the main thing that I really owned that someone really wanted was my domain, 19. And I was approached from somebody in China. Like, we'll give you XYZ dollars just for your domain name. That dollar amount was enough for me to say, you know what? You can have it. I'll give you a better example. If you go to Twitter and if you type in Twitter/Apple, if somebody purchased that before Apple would have been like, we'll offer you $1 million for it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, I'm just selling apple pies,
Yep.
making $20 here and there. Yeah, I'll take the $1 million. You have the name. That's
Like-
business 101.
That's just like right now. We are Trap Social because Trappin Ain't Dead is taken by an account that hasn't been used since 2009. And I've been spamming their ass.
Now,
That's what it is with how we
Now-
knew somebody else got it.
now, if you had the money and say, listen, here, Trappin Ain't Dead is our brand, and we've made enough money, which you guys will. I promise you. I think you guys will make enough money to say, you know what? F that. I want that domain name. You reach out to GoDaddy, whoever owns the domain, and say, listen, we're gonna offer.
We own the domain now. We just
You talking
own
about
the
like the
Twitter
Twitter name.
handle.
The Twitter
Okay,
handle.
so you can to the Twitter and say, hey, can you contact the owner and let them know that they have a buyer who wants to buy the handle?
Yeah.
It happens every day, by the way.
I know
It's
people be
just-
going,
it's
making
just-
their handles and sitting on
Of
them.
course,
But-
the same
but-
happens with Zion Williams.
Yeah.
When he was 13, somebody ever even stole that. I mean,
Who's
the domain
Zion
name,
Williams?
the basketball player.
Oh,
That's
wow.
The Williamsons.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's a
Jamal
number one.
Williamson, yeah.
He was a number one draft pick last year. If I'm not
So
mistaken.
people for domains. I know a domain company right now probably have over 100,000
Yeah.
domains, and they just hold them.
Yeah.
And when somebody want them, you can buy a domain. Give you an example. It's a really easy business that you can do. You can buy a domain for $11.99 for the year.
Yeah.
And if it's a real popular domain, you can sell it for $40 right back to go to Munch, right? For an example, and you've made $30 instead easy. So it's just with this business and everything. I don't understand being broke. I don't know how anyone can be broke when there's so many small hustles you can do.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
But you got a different brain than the average person. So how you're expert in this. So how do people who aren't who don't have that, how do they get to that level? Do they hire you? Do they go to school? Do they learn? Like, what do you suggest somebody to do?
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. Business is not for everybody. And then if everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, they'll be the workers. So we have to let certain people flourish when it's time to flourish. I was in the business owner all my life. I was the worker. I worked at Taco Bell. I worked at behavioral science research. I worked at a place called Law in 163rd, and I was selling leather shorts.
Law, yeah, I'm about to say, Law was a clothing store.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I never
We used to
forget.
pop up in there.
Yes,
I
was selling leather shorts to the dope boys. I never forget it. I was so amazed because I'm like, they want leather shorts and M&M jackets and race car jackets.
Shorts in Miami.
What?
Yeah, man, that was
What
a
year
thing
was
at one point.
Yeah. 96, 97, 98, 99.
Wow.
Leather shorts was it. And I remember saying like, wow, they got selling leather shorts. Like, how was it even working when the dope boys wanted it? Going in and buy it. So there was $100 back then. That's a lot of money back then. So it's always been a way to kind of make money. And I've always kind of had that mentality. And people really get mad at me. They say, JD, why don't you go play sports? And I never wanted to play sports. Ever, because I wanted to hustle.
If you're listening to this podcast, I would tell you to go click on our YouTube page so you can see what JD looks like, because he definitely looks like he can knock a bitch over on a football field.
I ended up playing sports because I wanted an education, but initially, I wanted to hustle all my life. And not necessarily legally, but I wanted to hustle in general. I wanted to flip products. I wanted to make computers and sell computers. I was like a geek, but just had, I was obviously big enough for football, and I did. Just to get the education, just to go to the University of Kentucky, just to kind of get that sociology degree.
That's what's up.
So I could come back and do marketing, what I love anyway. So that's kind of how it ties in together.
What position did you play in football? I'm sorry, I just want to know.
Listen, I played defensive end, defensive tackle.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it was the worst years of my life.
Why?
Because it was.
That's that grunt work. You on the front line. So basically, you a crash test dummy.
Yes.
You are in the box.
Is your head okay?
Yeah, I'm good. No CTE here.
No,
Got a bad shoulder, but no CTE.
Sound like
Did you not rush with your head?
Listen, rush with my.
Is that what football
We're gonna keep going.
Oh, okay.
No sports for you. No sports for you. No sports for you at all.
Wait, JD, so back to marketing. I know at one point we were having a conversation offline about you doing political marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you transition into that world?
I approached an individual. He knew I was doing marketing, and I approached an individual and I said, hey, you're running a campaign. And what I realized is that since 2008, with Obama using Twitter, and it shook the entire world. And no one,
The political world,
no one really understood marketing at the time. At that time, when I came out of college, I wanted to focus on Twitter. I don't even think Instagram was really that big, but I really wanted to focus on Twitter and Facebook. And then I started diving into Twitter and Facebook, and I saw what Obama did in 08. And it was an opportunity when the opportunity presented itself, I approached a candidate. I can say his name?
Yeah. He's been on the show.
Okay.
Matt
Okay.
Pike, and we were friends through, I met him through Leadership Academy, through Munch Black Men.
Aren't you guys frat brothers?
No, he's not a friend.
Oh.
And when I met him, he was really familiar, and I was like, well, this is an opportunity for me to try everything that I've learned on how to market a product. And I simply looked at Matthew as a t-shirt. You're a t-shirt.
I mean, politicians, they
are
are
a
saying
product. You're a product.
you're a product, yeah.
And I think people kind of try to confuse the two. No, you're a product. Your branding is the same, your messaging is the same, you're just a product. And we just kind of figured out. So I created a website for him. And the website ended up winning a national award. And then it kind of
I think I read about that in my news.
I appreciate that. That was a great write-up. And it just started to steamroll. And people started reaching out to me. A few national campaigns reached out to me to kind of see my input on a few things. And then from there, I think now I have 7 candidates this year.
Nice.
7 candidates. My goal is to get 14 in 2020. So anybody want to frame things, just reach out to me and let me know how I can. Well, the thing is, because I'm nominated again this year, I'm working on another campaign, another Matthew Tisdale. I'm working on his campaign. And his campaign is nominated again this year. His campaign is nominated, for the first time this year for the web development work I did for him. Which means that I understand what individuals are looking for when it comes to a website. The website looks completely different on mobile than it does on the computer. It's really easy to click on the donate and contribute button, or donate, contribute, whatever you want to word it, and volunteer button on a cell phone because it needs to be extremely easy. hand placements close to the thumb. Like, these are the things that I'm thinking about as I'm creating this page. You have the domain button too high. So, you know, it's just uncomfortable. So you got to make things extremely easy. And I always say, kiss the project. You know, keep it simple.
Stupid.
You already know. You
Yeah.
already know. And once you do that and you create that for the consumer, it's extremely easy. It'll work. And I've been acknowledged twice for it. Thank you. And then February 16th, I found that if I won the actual the website development project.
We're gonna pray that you get it.
Yes, I need it. I need it.
He's
Yeah.
running for state rep, right?
Yeah.
102.
We gotta get him on the show.
Yeah, we
Talk
don't
about
trust
what
you.
your platform
Yeah,
is.
Great guy. Great
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, that's my boy. I'm just
I don't
gonna
know
say
him
it.
personally, so that would be cool to meet him.
Good guy.
Good guy.
Smart. Everything. Yeah.
I can't say too much.
Yeah, well, I can't. That's my client, right?
No,
I'm excited for him.
because I can't say too much because then it'll let. I don't want to jeopardize the campaign.
No, I got you.
Like, that's pretty much why.
What?
Yeah. No, matter of fact, fuck it.
I get it. No, I get
Nah,
it.
yeah.
I get it. Don't listen to you.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, hey, Matt, wish you the best. Oh.
Right. I'll tell y'all off here.
Okay.
It's something simple. It's just simple.
Good stuff. What else we got?
We go to the board.
I mean, shit. Even with politics, right? And that's interesting. You did that with politics because I said in the last election, I said Trump ran a marketing campaign and the Democrats ran a political campaign.
Oh man.
And I said this on the show. And how many times you heard me say this? And I was like, look, Trump was the far right in the Republican Party, right? So it normalized Republicans. This is just my theory that he's so far right that he made Republicans more in the center and Democrats was on the left, and then Black Lives Matter and all, and Bernie was way on the other side. You feel me? But that's why, like, if you notice, they go Trump. They don't really say Republicans. Remember when it was Obama, it was Republicans. Then now it's Trump. You don't even hear about the Republicans no more. You just hear Trump and the Democrats.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And one thing I've always known is that Republicans spend money 3-1 when it comes to political campaigns.
Because they have it.
Because they got the money. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I think in this case, speaking of Trump running a marketing campaign, I mean, you hit it on the nose.
Twitter.
What he did, and he also used his stardom.
Yeah.
Really and truly, Trump was a hero in the black community.
Yeah.
And I want people to really understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved Donald Trump. And I hate to say that because I was like, I loved his
I'm gonna tell you
acumen.
when I knew like he was bad business. When you watch The Apprentice, he always put the two black women against each other. He always would do that type
But that
of
was
shit.
it wasn't okay. But I was just like,
It was
okay,
it was
this is show
under the
business.
guise of business and competition.
Yeah.
But I started to notice the pattern. You feel me? Like, yeah, he took Omarosa because Omarosa was cutthroat.
Yeah.
You feel me? Let's be real. Omarosa didn't give no fucks.
He loved that.
And he loved that shit. Like, think about it. It was Vivica Fox, and it was somebody else. I can't remember at the time. They put them two against each other. And it,
Nene.
I want to say it was Nene. So, you know what I'm saying? And what he did, he raised a black woman. Now we're in an age where Trump is the president and women's empowerment is the number one fucking thing. It's just ironic to me. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to be Umar Johnson. Sorry.
It's not. I don't think it's not a conspiracy.
You made a good point in the sense that people actually like Donald Trump to a certain extent.
Yeah.
They
All the
like
rappers
it was
love-
like
Everybody
Trump
wanted to be
Towers.
Trump.
People, you know how he put his name on everything. People like that he was, that guy in real estate. So when he flipped, I started not liking him like when he started like calling out like Rosie O'Donnell and being like really mean about it. To me, The Apprentice was always like, to me, I saw it as a sitcom. Like, I don't take reality TV shows seriously, but when I saw he was like kind of mean spirited, I was like, that ain't too cool. But I never expected the nigga to be the president.
The problem with Trump is that and it's not necessarily the problem with Trump. I just think Trump has always been Trump. It's just now we get to see who he really is. We love the allure of Trump.
It was
We love the
cool, not
allure
as a
of-
president. That's the thing. You're
We
good as
love-
an entertainer.
We love that. We
Yeah.
love that. But now you are representing the entire country. Now we're like, I don't know. I mean, Trump is extremely intelligent to the point where he knew what he was doing. Now,
I call Obama on the flip side.
I
He's
think
the anti-Obama.
I don't think he wanted to win. I don't think he wanted to win. I didn't think that he thought
he could win.
He could win. He went into it like, you know what? I need to sell some more. I need to sell
This is the biggest
this,
commercial for me.
that,
Yeah.
and this. Let me see how I can use all this and then pivot back into business. And when he won, he was like, dang, now I really have to be president. And he's just like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm not going to adjust. And he treats everything like it's a deal.
Yep.
And what that ended up doing is he ended up breaking these small little policies and things that's not normal. He doesn't even know. So,
Yeah.
for me to say, well, Munch, I ain't finna give you this until you tell me I can come on the podcast. That's all he did.
That's all he did.
That's not right.
China. China is a negotiator, but that's what his campaign was. Look, I'm a businessman. I know how to negotiate. It's the art of the deal.
But he's no longer representing himself.
So,
he can't bankrupt the country and then come back again as a new person. He can't do
Exactly.
that. And that's all he knows.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of the issue. So
That's-
everyone's fearful of him, just like, oh, he thinks he's going to just bounce right back. You know, and it doesn't work like that.
Well, hopefully the Democrats are paying attention this go around because we can't afford another 4 years. But I'm nervous about that.
So moving along, back to business. What's some tips, like some small tips you can give people, like starting out, or like to do, like in a digital domain now that things are switching? Like, what are things in addition to registering your businesses with the state, the city, all that different stuff? Digitally, what do you need to do, like, to start up your business?
Number one, I would say market research. Now, black women, I love y'all to death, but we start doing the lashes thing. It's great for the first 5 who enter. When you're like the 35th, 40th,
saturation.
It gets saturated, and then we got to pivot. We, as a culture, do this quite often. We're pivoted from the waist trainers to lashes.
Skin teeth.
So I'm about to say to flat tummy teeth.
And what we do, so we're not understanding the market research. That's a fly-by-night type of business. It fails, then we start over again.
Then we do the trap kitchens.
Right. You have to figure out what is going to be sustainable from now until we die. And I want you to think about this. As anyone starting a business, for an example, they always say we always need haircuts. We always know that. Certain things that we always will need. So I would say do market research on your product and really see if there's a need for it. Just because you and a couple of your friends like it, you're gonna always, it's true, because you're gonna always get support from the 3 F's, what I would call them: friends, fools, and family. They're gonna always support you. They're like, oh,
Who's the fools?
Fools, individuals who you can say about something in their body. That guy who really likes you, that girl who really tells you to do.
Is that
Give it friends,
is that
and family.
in addition?
Where's my fools?
Trust me, we got a fool out there.
So when it comes to like lean, what like Eric Rice, lean startup.
Lean startup.
So when it comes to lean startup, would the fools be considered that the first, what they call them, the initial people, like your core people that come first, regardless of what the fuck you do, you give them 20% of what they want, the 80-20 rule. You give them 20%, and you give everybody else you're trying to market to the 80%.
Yes, people would come to you just to be associated with you. They'll go on your Facebook page and like a page just so you can say, hey, you see me, I like your post. That's it. So you can say, well, I'm selling shirts. Who's gonna buy my shirts? You may have 1 or 2 cousins that'll buy a shirt, a couple of your homies will buy a shirt, but that's not even a corner of your market. Your market is everyone else. And how can you attach yourself to everyone else? And how can you appeal to friends, food, and family outside of that? Meaning, if I look at you and I say, that's a really cool hat. But what does that hat mean to me? It means nothing to me. I'm only buying because I know you. How many people know you? So after market research, you have to see, can I sell this product? The market can't. The product won't sell itself. I don't care how good a product is. If no one knows about it, no one ain't gonna buy it. But if you're constantly out there, so it goes back to consistency. After you do your market research and you say this can actually work, you have to be consistent in putting it out there. Consistent in talking about it. There shouldn't be a slow season. I have a small mastermind group, and I hope that I'm not sharing, where I mentor about 7 to 8 women. And it's only women because that's the only ones who, when I put the application out, they're the only ones who apply.
But damn it, I ain't know.
I know. I'm like, first of all, Munch, I'm glad you said it, because I ain't know.
I'm gonna say it, because if I would have known, I would have signed up for that shit.
Exactly.
But it's so mastermind. We meet every Tuesday for an hour and a half.
How much it costs?
Now this thing is free. The very first mastermind was free.
The very first mastermind was free.
Because the retail value, I mean, really and truly, I've done one in the past before. It's about $4,000 for a business, but this time I want to do it for free. The reason why is because I was, you might as well know Dobby Speaks.
Yeah.
Me and Dobby had a conversation. She said, JD, you know, I have a small little platform. I would love for you to get on there and offer this service. I was offering it to one, and so many people kind of reached out, emails. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 8.
I'm mad that what?
Well, it's one out of many, I would say. But the point is,
We gonna talk offline because I don't appreciate this.
but the point is that we all come together and we all talk about their businesses. You know, in order to get into the mastermind, you have to be an official. You have to be an LLC, an official company, and you have to be at least in stage 1 of your business, stage 1 and stage 2 of your business, which means that you understand exactly what you're selling and you understand your target audience. If you don't have a target audience, I say, who do you want to sell that shirt to? If you say everybody, you're not gonna win.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to sell this shirt to African American between the ages of 18 and 35, and their interest is skateboarding. In skateboarding, they like Tony Hawk, who's going to be a whole demographic, and you know, and be able to name this down and say, okay, cool. So you're looking for this person. This person listens to this radio station, so we advertise there. This person watches this TV show, so you know, this is how big businesses are doing it. And I want and I want the smaller business to say, you know, we can do that too on a smaller level.
That was the most frustrating thing working at iHeart, getting small businesses to understand what you just said.
Because they don't understand, and I think people don't do, and this is just me, I don't think people do a good job of knowing how to sell it either. Because, I always understood marketing from a value and sales position, but most people don't know that. And I know I'm a fucking anomaly. So I think my issue is understanding that target audience. Really truly, right? And like I think I get like super analytical on it and too much, and I think too much on it. So how do you as you should. And I think like I know what the group is, like the age range, but when you get into the real deep demographics, like the psychographics and stuff like that, that's when it gets like a little difficult.
Interest. What do for example, let's say me and Janae listen to a podcast. You have to stop and think, okay, cool. I know Janae and JB listen. What do they have in common? Okay, right. As of right now, they're both in Miami. I know that much. So that means you can advertise to between 40 and 30. Let's just say our age between 40 and 30. Black people in Miami. You know you're gonna eventually get a meal of Janae. Outside of that, what else do we have in common? And you need to poll your audience. You need to talk to them. A lot of people are scared to talk to their audience.
I mean, I do it on Facebook all the time, but it's just like I be polling people, but then it's like because I'm hustling, so it's like what's the fuck is the next step? You know what I mean? And I think that's where I'm at right now. Is that next step.
So is Facebook and also to build on that, is Facebook a part of polling? Do you need to do an official poll?
No. Facebook is definitely a part of polling, but sometimes you can ask simple questions like the other day I was listening to Jay-Z, and I was listening. I'll give you an example. I was listening to Jay-Z and Tupac. Anytime you kind of and you say who do you like the most? Give me an example. And if someone says Jay-Z, you have to understand the person that likes Jay-Z, what mentality they are, what's going on. The person that listens to Jay-Z versus Tupac, the person listening to Tupac will definitely be more into politics. They'll probably be more into the black culture. I want you to understand these things. Like, okay, cool. While someone listens to Jay-Z is more business minded, more of a hustler, and they think differently because Jay-Z represents one thing, Tupac represents one thing. Let's say you get 90% of your fans or people on your Facebook saying we rocking with Jay-Z, then you have to know then you need to go after those who are in small businesses, those who are probably more up north mentality versus the activist mentality like Tupac. So you have to really see exactly what they like, what they're listening to. Ask questions for sure. A lot of people are not asking enough questions. You're not asking questions. Hey guys, we're thinking about launching this podcast. We have these 2 guests. Who do you want? See what they say. Oh, I'm really interested to see what this person has going on. Oh, I'm really interested to see what this person has going on. Okay, cool, great. Well, that's one way to find out. The other way to find out is to say, who's my competition?
Yep.
I mean, that's easy. The competition part, I SWOT analysis, I can sit up there and do that all day.
You can find your competition, you can find your audience. Especially if you can find a large
And that's
accomplishment
where I'm at. I'm trying to. I've always, and I think Jodane for this, because she always gets me out of this mindset of like, I think the first time you used to hurt my feelings, and I used to try to just like.
What did I do? Don't
No,
do
because
that.
she was like, we gotta think outside of our friends, and she would
Yes.
always be like that.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
I didn't think that. I'm sorry, baby.
No, but it was real because I used to say the same thing during the time we had when art club was there. I was like always thinking the same thing. So I didn't take it to heart. It was just that when you building something and it's yours, and you take it a little personal. It's just like, all right, I gotta go back to the fucking drawing board.
The best feeling you will have as an entrepreneur is when you get a compliment from somebody you don't know.
Yes, that feels so good.
Then you start to ask them questions. Hey, how did you find out about this? And what? And then they'll tell you, oh, I saw this on such and such page, and then you go back and see, well, who's following this person? Okay, cool. But if you got a little bit of money, if you have $100 a month, have Facebook do it. You can say, I want somebody who's interested in this. The tech is so smart. The algorithm is so smart. It will find everyone who is into that and 5 other things that will point them directly to you. Allow them to do it. We as humans have to take a step back and say, you know what, I'm gonna let the tech run it. Now,
$100 not a lot either.
it's
Marketing budget.
people are terrified of let me say, people are terrified and say, oh, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of money. Facebook.
Scared money don't make no money.
You have to understand, Google wants you to be successful.
Yeah, because it
Go
helps
spend some
them.
more.
Data software as a service.
If Google help you bring in $1,000, they know you're gonna probably take 20 to 30% of that and invest it back in Google
Value proposition.
because it's ads you're running.
How much should someone invest into their marketing? Because I've heard a rule was like 20 to 30% of your, I guess, your revenue.
I heard no more than 5 to 10. Shit.
Percent of your business.
No, of your revenue. I guess
Oh,
your
the
revenue.
revenue coming in. So this is what I will always say. If I've invested $10, if I invested $10 and I received 100, I'm going to put 20% of that back into marketing, the other 20% back into product, whatever I'm getting, and the other 20% back into business, back into my business itself.
Yeah.
Outside of the products I need. I'll give you an example. If this phone cost me $10, right, and I've ran ads and I've sold 3 of these phones, that's $30. Let's say I take $10, let's say 30%. I put it back into marketing. Now I have enough money to buy another phone and enough money to put right here for something else I may need.
So the rest of the money
Salary
goes to
in-house.
operating
Yes,
expenses.
exactly. But you have to put the money back into it. I've seen folks make $1,000 like I'm good. No, you're not good. You're not good.
I never well, one thing I've always done is that's literally the same way. So it just makes me feel good to know that I ain't been doing enough.
Uber hasn't been profitable yet.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Uber hasn't been profitable yet. Casper hasn't been profitable yet. All these major companies you guys are hearing,
Yeah, the
they
mattress
haven't been
company.
profitable
No,
yet. Uber has not made $1 in profit yet. Try to understand that.
What are they doing? Just reinvesting everything?
Yes, and they have a marketing budget. Casper spent. I'll give you an example. So Casper raised, Casper exactly. They raised.
For people who don't know, what's Casper?
Casper is a mattress company, and they were one of the first, they were the first foam mattress companies to create a solely digital marketing platform, which means that they weren't in a brick and mortar. You couldn't
Yeah,
go to
you can
mattress.
order it online.
Strictly an online mattress, right? What was special about them is that, so behind the scenes, they went to Series 1, Series 2, or Series 8.
Yeah, like to raise funding
for the
for the
right? And
business.
that's only for angel investors and other people who want to invest in a particular product. They raised $100 million.
Wow.
Out of $100 million, I believe they spent about, let's just say they spent 60% of that budget went to marketing.
What?
40% of that budget is left. 20% was lost between discounts and giveaways and delivery costs. And the other 20 was just for operational. Remember, just because I'm the CEO and I receive a check, it doesn't mean my company is profitable.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing with your own business. You may say, well, I have $1,000 and I spent $1,000 to get all these shirts. Okay, right now you're in the negative, right? You sold 85 shirts and now you have $600. Okay, you still $400 in the negative. Now you got to take that $400 and try and recoup your product. You are going to be in the negative for at least 4 years, as every business should. But the problem is no one's investing back into their business.
Yeah, they do nigga expenses. I'll share a story.
No, I'm serious. Girl, I know one girl sold lashes and bought a purse.
Like, nigga expenses to me is like when you got, and never ignorant getting goals accomplished for the people who, the hoteps who gonna come for me for that shit. So,
say it again.
Never ignorant getting goals accomplished. That's Tupac. So, with that, business, I've seen people like, for instance, you go and, I got a business, so I'm gonna go to Popeyes when I'm home. Or if you go to Uber, you're doing Uber because that's your business money. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So one of the things that's kept me afloat, even when I stopped, people wonder like, what you was gonna do when you left your job? I'm like, I've invested in that back into my company. So for instance, I may be broke, but I still own all my equipment.
Exactly.
So by me owning all my equipment, I can never really truly go broke because the depreciation value on this, I can use this shit for the next 10 years.
Yes.
Long as I, treat it right. This microphone is 10 years fucking old. You get what I'm saying? These cords, I reinvested. They only cost $20. I reinvested it back. Everything, when I first jumped into the video game, I literally made sure I had the top goddamn stand, the monopod, the gimbal, everything.
Every time I came in here, you had something.
I had something.
It lasts forever. Camera equipment is probably one of the better investments. A 5D Mark II was a camera I had when we shot all those videos back in the days. That camera is still going for $400 or $500 right now.
Yeah.
That's 7-8 years ago. I bought it for $1,200 back then. And you're telling me if I'm down and out, and I'm down to my last, I still have this piece of tech that I can sell for $500. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Investing back into your business. Now remember, let's say, everything in here, printing press, the whole nine, we have an issue, okay, cool, somebody's gonna buy all this stuff off.
That's true.
So you have to invest back into your business. And people kind of miss that concept. So that's why I say if you're gonna get into a business, figure out what's gonna be sustainable, what's gonna be here from now to the next 5 years, and really see, is this product worth putting out into the market, and will they purchase outside of the 3 F's, which is friends, foes, and family.
Why do you think people don't market? Because I noticed, or they forget to market or put aside a budget, because I think marketing is like an expense, like your light bill and all this other stuff. Why do you think people forget that? Because when I was working at iHeart and doing small business sales and radio advertising, I realized people were like doing grand openings and they were forgetting that they needed to tell people that they were actually opening. And then it's like 2 weeks out and they're trying to scramble. And I'm like, what is in that mindset to make you forget that you need to actually market this and tell people that you exist?
Because they don't understand, they're allowing good to stop them from being great. Good is the initial, you ever launch something and your doors open and everyone's supporting, that's good. That's not great. And great is actually other people spending money you don't know. Your doors, people come in and say, hey, I found this on Facebook. Hey, I found this on Instagram. And you say, well, damn, you know what? I ran an ad on Instagram and Facebook 3 months ago. If I tell you one time ago, you may not do it. It's like a child. If I say, hey, put that down, you're not going to do it. Put it down, you're not going to do it. I put it down, I scream a little louder, they may put it down. That's marketing. It takes about put it like this, 5 years ago, it was 7 touches to get a sale. Now it's 22 touches to get a sale.
Wow.
Just because the market is so saturated. So before, if I was to say, if I tell you I'm selling this phone, I tell you personally, that's 1 touch. Then you receive an email from me, that's a 2nd touch. You may receive another email from me with a whole separate content, but still talking about this phone, the educational piece, that's 3 touches. Now you see it on Twitter, that's 4 touches. And all of a sudden you get it on your Instagram, it's 5 touches. You see it on Facebook, 6 touches. Keeping your product top of mind.
So
to the point where it's like
lead generation, or is that
that's lead generation and phones are completely different.
Yeah.
But it's still staying top of mind. I'll give you the prime example for that is Coke.
Yeah.
Coke run an ad, and you may run out and buy a Coke, but that does not necessarily affect Coca-Cola's bottom line. What it affects is the person who's buying the Coke from Coca-Cola. The more plus. So Coke will say, we're going to advertise Coke. They're not saying go to this store, go to that store. They're just saying go buy Coke anywhere. Because at the end of the day, no matter where you purchase from, the person you bought it from will make money, and they'll sell out of their Coke to buy more Coke from me. Period.
Business strategy.
Exactly. So you can market something on a super high level and don't even tell them where to get it from. Think about Pepsi. That's branding. That's not marketing. That's branding. Think about Pepsi. Think about every Super Bowl commercial. They didn't really talk about the product. They talked about what they stand for, their stance. They talked about their community aspect, the community involvement, and it makes you. So now they're touching this emotional play to touch the person. So now you're down and out. You say, I'm going to get a Coke. And you don't even know why. Because they told you they were great to people, good to community, support blacks, and now you want to support that brand. We as marketers understand that, but the small business don't understand it. And they say, well, I spent $100 and I ain't making no money. Well, that $100 probably going to 5 people, but are you touching them constantly? Are you spending 5 months of marketing? If I see an ad over and over and over again, it's just like the radio. You hear a song over and over and over again, next thing you know, you're singing the song.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese commercial, Dandy Bear commercial, I love Dandy Bear. When I was a kid, I'd never been a Dandy Bear, but I know the commercial, I knew where they were at. Palmetto, I knew these things because they kept ramming into my head. But Chuck E. Cheese had a bigger footprint. Their marketing was better. They had a mascot. They had a few things that Chuck E. Cheese kind of had. And that's what businesses don't do. They're scared to market because they're not seeing a return immediately. It takes time. It takes time.
Is there a difference between branding and marketing? And what is it?
It's a huge difference between branding and marketing. I'm writing a piece on that right now, actually. So the difference between branding and marketing is more specific to the emotional aspect of an individual or its customer base, while marketing is promoting an actual product. So if I say JD, the Intravate Consultants, we're a great brand, we have integrity, that's the brand itself. Now when I say we do digital marketing, that's the product. We do SEO, that's the product. So it's a huge difference. So you have to put your brand out there. You have to attach your brand to a cause. And everyone who's with that same cause will now patronize with you because you align, you're like-minded, and I can see your business. So I want you to think of, let's say Bud Light. Remember Bud Light came up with that ad, and everyone was really upset because it was one of those. What was that? It was funny. Yes, it was funny.
And that's crazy. That you see how me and him just recalled that shit.
Yeah, and it was funny. And then all the wise.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with beer. Think about it. That was
the frog. Yeah, Bud was the frog.
Bud was the frog. It was up with the black guys.
It was the black guys. Yeah.
That did nothing for the actual beer that they were selling. It was just saying, hey, look how cool we are. How many times we call why nah? It was like, why am I doing this shit? And it was because it was a cool thing to do. And Bud put that out there. So with so many commercials that you just would like black people go to Bud, because they see this. So that's oh, McDonald's do it. You see McDonald's commercial on BET. So different.
It is. Oh my God.
And then they go into the hip hop mix.
I know. With the Franklin singing in the background.
Well, what is it doing? It's like this brand.
The reason why I say that is because when we did the What's Up, that was actually, I got that from Martin, because I used to say that shit all the time.
That's true.
And I was like, because he's like, what's up? Marty Martin in the house. And then, Bud was just thinking about like, damn.
It makes us it makes attach themselves to a brand.
Damn.
So that's why McDonald's, that's branding. That's not saying go to this McDonald's down the street. It's just saying, hey, go to a McDonald's because we get you. We're like you.
Yeah.
And you say, damn, you know what, you're right. Okay, cool. I'm gonna fuck with McDonald's because they get me and they like me. That's branding. Marketing is, hey, guess what? We have these new fries, and this particular fry is this and this.
So marketing drives more like it's more specific to drive a sale.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And brand is just more so people know that you
trust and believe in the brand. Trust and believe in that. Apple. Come on, man. Nothing says simplicity, minimalism, yet savvy like Apple. Now they're talking about another big thing is protection. Oh, look at us. We care about you so much. We're gonna make sure that your phone is nice and secure.
Yeah.
oh, Apple cares about me. So now I'm going to work with Apple. And that's branding versus, hey, y'all, we got the new iPhone 6 out. Go get it.
So you saying that because I felt that way too when the whole thing with the dude, I think he was in I call it the rampage suit. But when we went to shooting at the police in San Bernardino, California, he was shooting at the police and he was in full like a bulletproof suit. And then they actually took him down, but they tried to get into his iPhone. And they couldn't get into the iPhone. That was a big old thing.
Yes.
So was that a decision, like a branding decision? Like, look, this is gonna fuck up our brand.
Bam, my man.
Because McAfee came out, Norton, the dude that did Norton, he came out and said, "I can do it. I can get it to the back end in 2 seconds."
That's the brand. The brand is saying it was a brand decision to say, do we let them know that we're gonna allow the cops to go into their phone and see all their personal records, regardless if he's a terrorist or not? That was a brand decision to say, as a brand, we're going to protect your privacy. We don't care who you are. And people were like, you know what? I'm fucking with Apple.
And now
think about it.
I don't remember that story, but that sounds
that was
amazing.
huge. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge because Congress was like, they couldn't believe Apple wouldn't do it.
And I think that's what led into them divesting into Facebook and Google and and in the back end of their algorithms. And like I know it was a lot of research done by some powerful black women. But yeah, the information on the back end is just like they make. Even when I seen it, I said, nah, they lose in the market because Steve Jobs had just passed. So it was like Tim, we can't take that L. Tim, he was not going to move on that, and he was like, fuck it, take the court.
Yeah.
And they won the court case.
Facebook did the exact same thing. Now Facebook is pushing groups. You see that?
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Facebook groups.
They got commercials now for it.
Because they want individuals to know, hey, we're still here, we're still for the people. Yes, we had that big data breach, but it's okay. And we're doing a better protection. They're talking about we want you to have more of a one-on-one connection. It's all brand building. Because they want to build that trust with the people. Big difference between brand and the market.
Man, let's put JD to the test. You the expert. Analyze our shit. Analyze the podcast.
Listen, this is the part I'm waiting for right here.
You might have to cut some of this shit out.
I know, we don't need you hoes knowing everything.
We'll need you in the nigga game room. You feel me? Trappin Ain't Dead. You know what I'm
Give us your
saying?
thoughts on the
This
podcast.
is what I'm gonna give you the blueprint.
So JD, we gonna put you on the spot. You the expert, all right? We finna see if you really know your shit. And me and Munch was talking about this. Why don't you analyze and give us a breakdown on the podcast? Like,
Listen,
give us some marketing and branding on the podcast. What's your thoughts?
I've been waiting for this day. I'm waiting for this day because you guys have so many opportunities. The very first thing I would say is, number one, we're gonna work on sponsorship. Because you don't have any sponsors right now that I've heard. But you also do a segment where you play music in the beginning of your segment.
Yes.
That's all Munch's brainchild. But I love it.
What
All local artists, by the way.
are these local artists paying $50? $100? Wait.
No.
Moving forward,
Yeah.
if you have an audience, let's just say you have an audience, and I'm pretty sure you have an audience of 10,000 people, you have to pay me $50 just to get your song played in the intro and in the outro. Give them 30 seconds in the intro, play the whole song in the outro, give them a full introduction, tell them where to get it, it'll take you 3 minutes to do it. That's going to bring in more revenue. Number one. On the marketing purposes, you need to cross platforms. You need to also say, okay, well, hey, JD, you're coming on the show. Excellent. You're going to come on the show. So let's say we're going to record this podcast today. You need to send me, or we work something out where you're going to create my little, what do you want to call it, a flyer?
Flyer, yeah.
Or a template.
A template, and you're going to say, you're going to plug somebody in there and say, you have to promote this on your Instagram, Facebook, whatever else, 5 different platforms. Maybe sign a contract, because you're going to do the exact same thing for me. I'm going to share my audience with you. You're going to share your audience with me. All right? Now imagine if you would have done that for every episode.
Trust me, but doesn't that add to the consistency though?
It adds to the consistency.
So could I have done that flat out in the beginning?
Yes, but you should have. But we get it.
Yeah.
You're starting off and you want to kind of do it for the love. I want you to understand, this is a business.
Yeah.
Podcasting is a business. A lot of people will not make any money in podcasting because they don't know how to pivot into the business side.
Yeah.
podcast, you're not going to really make money off putting this on YouTube and getting streaming and make it. Unless you have 10,000 subscribers, or you know, 1,000 subscribers and 10,000 views, you can't even monetize this yet. That's down the line. And then if you're not getting 1 million views plus, you're not making no money. So that whole theory of, oh, I get a quarter for every view, that's bullshit. I get a penny for every view, that's bullshit. So are you selling ads on your page? That's how you make money, right? So let's scratch that. You have to make money off sponsorship and cross promotion. The bigger your numbers get for this particular podcast, the more leverage you have to go to a local area, a local restaurant, anything around a particular area who wants to drive business, that Chinese restaurant on the corner, and let them know, hey, we have 10,000 black people that listen to us. That's in Liberty City, out of Liberty City area. And I'm pretty sure you can pull it up in all your analytics and say, damn, people are listening from Okeechobee, people are listening from this area, this area, this area. Leverage that. Go into a meeting. I want to have a meeting with you. I want to be able to sell XYZ. H Greg right here. They have money to give away.
Yeah.
They sell one car, $17,000 for an example. They're willing to use $3,000 to $4,000 for marketing.
Yeah.
This ad is sponsored. This podcast today is brought to you by H Greg.
How do we grow the numbers though? Because I think that's also a big part of that.
Cross promotion. Cross promotion. Right now, it's the only way podcast will grow. It's cross promotion. Get the clips. Edit the clips. If you have something really explosive you're about to say, I'm gonna tell y'all who is such and such in the community. And right when you get to say it, cut it out.
Yeah.
Right? And say subscribe to our podcast, yada 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 yada. And people are gonna be waiting for you to be like, I can't wait to hear what she had to say about this person. The exact same thing we do with High Low News. Hey y'all, you posted today on your Facebook. Hey y'all, I did more research on what's taking place with Carol City, right? But stay tuned though. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Same thing we did with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Recently we just did.
So now people are going to be like, damn, I can't wait to hear. Bring a guest on. Sometimes you may have to pay for a high-powered guest. Right? That's marketing.
Yeah.
You're not spending it on Facebook ads. You're not spending it on Google ads. The question is, what money you guys put in? Like I said before, I'm going to be your first sponsor. You got $400 for me. I'll give y'all XYZ dollars.
Edit that out.
And I need, whatever. But I need you guys to say, JD, this is the cost for our ads in the beginning. And I want you guys to say, hey, this episode today is brought to you by Intravate Consultants. You need marketing needs for campaigns, they got you. Reach out to them at itvcat.com. That's it.
You know what's so crazy is I've been reaching out to a few. It's just that, when you gotta send that package out, I just want it to be a little bit more packaged. But at the end of the day, I think we could be on that.
You have the numbers to show. First thing.
And that's the other end. And then I don't know if you know that podcast numbers, the metric for that changed too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just out in the open, and then now they have a metric like IAB is the standard, that the metric standard. So that basically minimizes.
I'm sorry, that you didn't see the phone moving?
My phone moving again.
Oh.
Yeah. So then it did. So the metric changed. So now it's on. We used to have, I want to say, unique downloads was the thing, and then IAB is like more accurate as far as the count, because a podcast is based on how many times it's downloaded.
So let me give you another way you guys can really promote the show. Do a live remote somewhere. Do a live remote activation somewhere. This is a fairly simple setup. You can say, hey, we're going to come do a podcast in your restaurant. We're going to come do a podcast in your this, in your that. Right? You can say wherever you're going to go. All we want you guys to do is make sure that you put us on your Instagram, and XYZ, and put our tag information, all the information. You may be surprised. You may get 10 new listeners because of that. You do that 5 times, 10 times. Now you have 100 new listeners. Increase the metrics. If you can show for 1 month that you have sustained 1,000 listeners, you have to see what is the return on my 1,000 listeners. Who can I go to and say, hey, you know what? Give me $25 and I'll mention you in our podcast. It takes 5 seconds. You can do 10 different sponsors in 1 day. Hey, so this segment, the Get Real segment, is brought to you by. Now that I'm telling you this, and you probably already know it, I want you to watch TV. I want you to listen to other radio. I want you to listen to other podcasts. Joe Rogan, crazy podcast. I mean, he talks about 2-3 hours. The I swear the first 10 minutes is just him talking about sponsors.
Yeah.
This is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is what I do.
That's how the read is too. I listen to them religiously.
This is brought to you by this because blah, 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 blah. So you need to figure out.
Even on YouTube, like they'll do like an intro video, and then he'll say something like, today's episode you'll learn about this and this, and then and then they'll go like film writing, go doing this stuff.
I'm a huge film writer fan, so they do all the time. So this is the next step. Munch, go on your platforms, and then go on your platform and say we're looking for new artists to promote. They're gonna reach out to you. Hey, what I gotta do? Give us $25 and we'll play your music at the beginning. Play your music at the end. You get 2 artists. You say, hey, here's $25. And now I have $50 coming in. For the $50, $25 for you. I'll play you 3 minutes in the beginning. The next person, I'll play you 3 minutes at the end. You have to.
But doesn't it dilute the choice though?
No.
No. In a sense of like, to me, that's Munch choosing like some good music versus like, you don't want somebody who got trash music. Like,
no. You have
the option, right? You have the option to say no. Now, here's the thing. That's why I don't interview the artists. I don't interview them. And say, if you notice, I'm probably gonna get some. They all been hitting me. But like when we did Bebe for Trap Social, they were like, but you did Bebe. I say, did Bebe come on here and talk about music? Did y'all watch it? Watch it. He wasn't talking about no music. He was, you know what I'm saying?
But even if so, they come out at the beginning, you have to let them know, hey, we're not going to do this unless you promote our show, which means that you have to.
Or it's in line.
Send them the information. Send them the flyer. Put their name on it. They're going to say, hey, y'all, I'm on this particular show. And we'll be like, what show is this? I never heard of, you know what I'm saying? I've never heard of this show before. And you go, oh, okay, cool. And let me listen to my boy's song. Now they also like the content. You still got to talk about something. You still got to be Jodane. You still got to be Munch. That's never going to change. That brand is what's going to hold individuals here. But you're just using them, the cross promotion, to get them here in the first place.
Exactly. But here's my thing. I think, and one reason why I've been like not trying to do it so much is because the copyright stuff. So like, so I've been like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Some songs I may go 45 because I know they're original, right? Oh, I know.
Okay, scratch the music. Scratch the music. Every person you have on this podcast, you won't launch their podcast unless they do the promotion I was telling you about. Put it on their Facebook, and they have to mention you guys 3 times a week. Hey guys, I'm coming up. And the thing is if you create a template, give it to them. Jodane, it takes you 2 minutes to write a template. Hey guys, here blank blank, I'm going to be on this particular podcast. Y'all make sure y'all check me out. You send it to them. All they got to do is say, okay, cool, I'm just going to post this. If you don't post this, you can't come on the show. Or we need you to do X, Y, Z for this particular post. Or here is a couple dollars, we need to get this done because you have 100,000 people on Instagram and you have X, Y, Z. Put it on your page. Some people are going to be like, I'll put it on there for a week. Whatever the case may be, put it on there. If you can get 10 new listeners, we do that once a week. The consistency I'm talking about. If you get 10 new listeners, that's.
I ain't gonna lie, Danny Spikes we put up, and like shit, we got like 5-6 new followers on fucking Instagram. So I know they listen to the shit because I'm looking at the numbers, and so I get it totally because I look at the back end all day.
Being consistent.
But what hurt us, to be honest, was we was getting some really good numbers when we was on one platform. When we started to go and say, like, we was only on SoundCloud because Apple had basically booted me out because they had a curse word in the code. Simple shit. Spotify didn't have podcasts yet. Google didn't have podcasts yet, right? So we were getting like 250, like this. Mayor Gilbert's episode got damn near 350 in a month, right? And that was at the same time that Jazz in the Garden was going on.
To the month?
Yeah. And that was at the same time. And what we did, and that I use that as like a case study example, is that Jazz in the Gardens was going on. And you know, I produced for a lot of people. So I was using All Like Minds Media, my production company, as like a conduit between the other stuff that I was doing. Like, so when he talked about Frosty's daughter or something. Maria?
Painted Swag.
Painted Swag. So Maria was doing the suits for Oliver Gilbert. I had already interviewed her on another show, another talk show type thing that was on YouTube. So I said, Robert, that was Robert Jones. I said, Robert, hey, you gonna put out Maria's on right now, the week of my Jazz and Garden. So he put that one out. We produced it, put that out. We did Trappin Ain't Dead, the podcast, and only thing I did with our podcast, I got Maya Gilbert saying Trappin Ain't Dead, and like shit took off, and then everybody was talking about Miami Gardens, hashtag that shit the whole time, and like we was that to this day, it's certain episodes that still are doing numbers just on that alone, and they're older episodes, like the first, second, third episodes, like Desmond Meade on YouTube. It's like at damn near 500, 600 to 1,000 now, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I haven't been watching that shit. But that episode alone has been like getting traction because Desmond was getting traction about FRRC, and I was already talking about that way back when.
So, but also, video is king right now.
Yeah, that too.
You gotta so I'll give you an example. What the Breakfast Club do, they'll show their whole interview on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they'll show small little snippets. You can say Janae's reaction to JD talking about marketing. Take a small little clip. Now I know it's hard work. I get it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, especially if Munch.
Rumor report, Donkey of the Day.
So they break all that up and they drop it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they drop it throughout the day. And then Charlamagne will do it.
He put his stuff out. Yeah.
That's the exact same thing you guys have to do. That's going to kind of keep you guys consistent.
Yeah.
You got a whole interview, so you take one podcast. It's going to be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You can repurpose couple segments that we do have. We had, the company, Intravate, marketing, politics. Break that up. Create a 1 minute video. Sorry, my bad. You can break that up. Now you have a 1 minute video. One podcast. You have one podcast. You break it up. Now you have 6 or 7 minutes of different things you can promote. Put it out there. You gotta put it out.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's the thing. I think we've been talking about it for.
I want to help.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
I want in. And I'm being honest, I'm putting myself out there. I want in. I want to be able to take this podcast to the next level. However I can help. I want in. I'm telling you right now, I want in. I want to be sponsored, and I want to kind of help you on the back end on how to edit these videos and put them out there. I'm there.
Blessing from God.
We can rap with that.
I know, JD.
Yeah.
How can people find you? Because I know they want to work with you now.
The Instagram is _Craigman is my personal, and then my business Instagram is going to be JD Craigman. Actually, you can find me on all platforms at JD Craigman. To be quite honest with you, JD_Craigman or just JD Craigman. It pops up. I think I'm the only Craigman in America. I think outside of my family. So just hook me up. You get on the web, itvcst.com, which stands for IntravateConsultants.com. That's my firm. We're based right here in downtown Miami. Just let me know how I can help.
Yay! I love it.
I was gonna say it. You just looked at me. I was ready to say it. I thought you was gonna say me, and then I'd be ready for it because I know. Listen, I listen to
see me
these
all like
podcasts.
doing double dutch.
Yeah. So Jodane, how can people find you?
Yeah, we always have to do that. No, but you've been good with it like the last 6 months. But
Exactly.
people, you can find me. It's all about Hilo News. It's HYLONEWS. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I forgot I started that page, so you can find me there. And then also you can find the website HiloNewsMiami.com and get all my content and news there. And if you want to follow my personal page, that's Janae Tate. And Munch, how can the people find you and the podcast?
Machiavelli_Munch. All like minds media for production services. TrappinAintDead.com. Direct connect. Shop with me. Fuck with me. Trappin Ain't Dead. Available on all platforms. That's Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeart, Google, the whole nine. Anywhere that Trap open. Trap is open. Okay? Fuck with me.
Man, good night.